Hello, and welcome to Sonata She Wrote. Today, we're continuing into Winterreise and analyzing the third song, Gefror'ne Tränen, or Frozen Tears, in which Schubert plays with Müller's poetry and creates two distinct musical worlds, one based in reality, and the other centered around the inner world of the wanderer.
Gefror'ne Tropfen fallen von meinen Wangen ab. Ob es mir denn entgangen, dass ich geweinet hab, dass ich geweinet hab.
Turning away from the house of his beloved, the wanderer notices that he is crying frozen tears. Susan Youens notes that the discussion of ice and later of fire are a vehicle by which the wanderer questions the intensity of his emotions as well as their source. In this song, we're seeing a duality. Perhaps cognitively, the wanderer has moved on from the emotional impact of what has happened to him, but in his heart? We get a hint at the contrast in his emotions in a brief mediant major section. How could he not have noticed that he'd been weeping? Small half-step sigh motifs emphasizing, "Oh, tears, my tears." Youens goes on to say that Müller's wanderer knows that weeping is a sign of life and longs for tears' fiery affirmation of reality, but he doubts his capacity for passionate emotion. As the song continues, this will manifest, similarly to in the weather vane, as an extremely shaky tonal center, moving from emphasis on F minor to A flat major to D flat major, and eventually through that into the otherworldly key of the Neapolitan, G flat, where the wanderer's tears spring from the well within the wanderer's heart, which, ideally, would be so full of passion that the ice around him would melt away.
Meine Tränen, und seid ihr gar so lang, dass ihr erstarrt zu Eisen wie kühler Morgentag. Und dringt doch aus der Quelle ihr Brust so glühend heiß, als wolltet ihr zerschmelzen des ganzen Winters Eis, des ganzen Winters Eis. Ihr dringt doch aus der Quelle ihr Brust so glühend heiß, als wolltet ihr zerschmelzen des ganzen Winters Eis, des ganzen Winters Eis.
As the song ends, an augmented sixth chord into a cadential 6/4 moves us into the final cadential progression, ending with a PAC back in F minor. The dispassioned lament that, in my mind, represents reality and the state of the wanderer's disassociation returned, set in stone by a repetition of the piano introduction to the song. Thanks for joining me for my analysis of Gefror'ne Tränen. Again, if you can support the channel, consider joining my Patreon at patreon.com/sonatashewrote, where you can find some exclusive content and other benefits. Up next is Ersterung, or numbness.